Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. A lot of people have been asking us, and there must be some confusion on how exactly we add pieces after it's been cataloged by, a third party or a cataloger that we hired, or someone even in the store. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how we add parts and how we still, unlike some people want us to, how we still consolidate pieces, and kind of how we found a slightly quicker, a little bit more of a simple way to do that consolidation and to continue adding lots of new lots all at once. So that's what we're going to show you in this video. Let's get into it. Okay, so step one obviously is to put some pieces into a file. So for those of you who don't know, we use BrickStore and we can create files with a .bsx extension at the end, and that essentially is a spreadsheet that looks similar to this, where you can have different types of pieces, and you can catalog them, add a quantity, color, remarks, all that kind of fun stuff. So the very first thing, and Paul does this most of the time, is to create an actual file. So what Paul has done here is taken all of these pieces, and they all get their own individual cup. Of course, you don't need to put them in a cup. You can put them in whatever container you want, or you could actually just have them in piles on the table if you want. But in this case, Paul has taken them, put them in each cup, and then he's gone through each different piece, mold type, mold variants, colors, all that kind of stuff, and put a new line in the file. So then we have a file with however many pieces we have. And then what he does is uses the BrickStore or BrickStock merge function on BrickFreedom. And I know there's a way to do this through BrickStore itself. And a lot of people have told us that, but we just don't do that. But on BrickFreedom, if you add, or if you click that BrickStock merge function, we can actually add a BSX file, click upload, it'll process it, takes a few seconds. Then we can download a file and then open it up. And now the cool thing about this one is that you can see there are remarks that are filled in. So those remarks are then taken out, or we cut those pieces out of that spreadsheet or that BSX file. We take those pieces that have a remark, put them in a new spreadsheet. We just call this one consolidate. And now we have a spreadsheet that is only holding the pieces that are brand new to our inventory. We don't have any of them. So in this case, Paul has these two files here. We have our file format is just the date, and then the name, and then the number one for the day. In this case, this is 126-22, Paul 2, and this is the consolidate file that went with that one. So now they're separated into two separate things. These are all brand new lots. These are lots we already have. So this is just going to be slid to the side, and we're going to ignore that. And now what we're going to do is take this file, and I'll actually show you how we add them to the inventory and how we assign remarks to each of those pieces. So first, I lay out all the parts like this. This is that file, I think it was 126-22 Paul-2. It's all laid out, and I like these cups personally because you can see through them. So if I'm standing over here, I can still see kind of the parts over there, as opposed to, we used to use these white things. Now, of course, it's your preference, but if you use these and you put one here and you're standing over here, for small parts that are at the bottom, you may not be able to see. So I find the clear cups very, very nice. But laid out all the clear cups so I can see all the lots. I also set up some drawers here. Some of them have dividers, some of them don't. However you store your parts is totally up to you. And then we opened up the sheet as well. So this is 126-22 Paul-2, and you can see there are 30 errors. Nothing has remarks, nothing has a price as of now. And this is the sheet that we're going to assign remarks to for each of the pieces. So I think this is how most people do it. And if you keep in mind here that we only have the pieces that are not consolidate parts in this sheet, everything else in the consolidate sheet is in a separate sheet that's not open right now. So what I'm going to do is find this dish 6x6 inverted radar solid studs, light bluish gray, and there should be 10 of them. So I'm going to find 10 of those, and then we will put them in a thing. So that's what I believe is right here. Now you can see right here, if we look a little close, 6x6 inverted radar solid studs. That's what this is here with the solid studs on top, and then the lot underneath it is hollow studs, and that's what this lot is over here. You can see the hollow studs. So Paul does all the mold types and stuff separate, and then all I really do is just verify that, okay, yeah, this is the solid studs, and I make sure I pick up the right one and put it in the right container, or I assign the remark to this piece. So in this case, we'll take our solid studs. There should be 10 of them. Generally, you'll check the count. We will add them to this container specifically for just because I like that one, I guess. And then what we'll do is we'll use our barcode scanner, and we will scan the remark into the remark field on that file. and you just click the down arrow key. And now we will take our 6x6 inverted radar dish hollow studs, which should be this. Again, there should be 13 of them. We'll put them in there, and ideally they would lay down a little bit nicer. Scan the remark. Now you can see it's assigned to that drawer. Click the down arrow key, and we will continue on. So what I'm gonna go do now is add all the remarks to all these pieces. If I catch anything that I think is an important thing that we should mention, I will add it. But this is just, basic brick store here. You're adding a remark to the remark field for a particular piece. Okay, so I end up spending, I would say, 2, maybe 3 minutes assigning remarks to everything here. And now you can see they all have a home. So with remarks assigned, these are not yet in the inventory, almost though. But we filled out our sheet with the remarks. Now what I'll do, of course, the whole time I was checking roughly for quality. So Paul, for the most part, in this case, as the cataloger who did this, check for quality. You can see on this piece, there's a, see if you can see it. It's not showing up super duper well on the camera. There's kind of like a little bite mark on the side, and there's some like decent scratches. It's really not showing up well at all. You kind of see it there a tiny bit. It's not focusing, but I noticed that. I'm not deeply looking for quality issues, but I did notice that was a problem. So I just pulled that out, changed the quantity in the spreadsheet, and that was it. And this will now go to the side, and we won't sell that piece. But essentially everything's here. Just briefly double checking everything to make sure it looks like the right mold type and all that kind of stuff. So now we will just, I will select everything. I'll set it to the 6-month sales average, and then we up our prices a little bit as well on top of the 6-month sales average. But essentially, after you've done that, let me up the prices like we do. You click the file, export, mass upload, and then on BrickLink, you can paste in that XML. This is, of course, shown in a few different videos about Brickstore. We'll verify that file, and then the last thing I do is just scroll through just to make sure it doesn't say to consolidate anything. Occasionally, some of the things may be in a stock room. If it's in a stock room, it wants you to consolidate. Generally, that stock room has 0 quantity because that's sometimes the way Brick Freedom does things. In this case, though, you can see absolutely nothing happened. Some of these pieces are incredibly valuable for some weird reason. Specifically, this one, this dark bluish gray. And if someone says we're wrong on this, but with the hollow studs, this one sells for $10. And the piece count, or the piece number and everything appears to be right. But apparently this piece is $10, which is very interesting. But we'll see if that's correct. We're gonna click upload file, and there you go. All those parts are added, and that was it. So this whole process, even with filming, well, actually with filming, it took me probably a little bit over 10 minutes to actually get these parts added, but I can actually add all of these, or I could have added this in the course of probably, I would say 5 minutes on average. Some files are larger, some are a little bit smaller, but this one I would say was, probably right in the middle actually. And so we can add all of these new pieces in the matter of, just a few minutes. And if there were like, in this case, there's 3, these will be a little interesting because these have to find a better home. So things like that where I have to think of other storage solutions or go to bins, those take a little bit longer. But, something like this where it'll still all fit in drawers, that'll be no problem at all. And that will just take another, 5 or so minutes. And we can have literally, over the course of an hour, probably 300 to 400 lots uploaded, which is very, very nice. And it keeps you from doing the consolidation on the page prior to this, where you would have to scroll through and walk to each drawer on the wall. So now let me explain a little bit how we do the consolidation. And then actually, first I'm gonna put these aside because they are uploaded, and technically these are for sale and anyone can buy them now. Okay, so now to the consolidate part, and this is where a lot of people disagree with us, or a few people disagree with us on the consolidation portion of this. But because we've separated each of these files, or each of the pieces in these files to, away from the lots that are being added as new, it's real quick to add all of the new lots, and then these end up, we can kind of pile these up together and do it all as one lump sum. So what we'll take with this, essentially, is once this is full, or we feel there's enough consolidate that we can actually add all of it together at once, as opposed to just having like 10 or 12 lots. If we had 10 or 12 lots and we go through the aisle, each time it becomes really inefficient. So what we end up doing is stacking, Paul does 35 lots, I think, just because that's what fits on the cart with his laptop still. And I will do 49 lots because that's what fits on the cart without anything else on the cart. So I'll do 49 lots at a time. Usually I'll do a couple passes if we need to, or a couple, I'll break one BSX file just into two carts worth, I guess. And we'll take it, we'll lay them all out on the cart, and I personally usually print out the BSX file so I can see the remarks. Paul puts his laptop on the cart and follows along with the remarks. And now that it's all in order, because you can sort it and order it by remark in Brickstore, we then just go through the aisle and, pull out the drawer, pour the pieces in, pull out the drawer, pour the pieces in, pull out the drawer, pour the pieces in. And it's really, really quick because we can just do one pass in the aisle, go all the way down, finish it up here, and then go down this last section of the wall and finish it up here as well. So when we're doing that, we're adding pieces to the drawer, and then at the end of that, we actually upload that file, and because it's all, our store is set to consolidate, it automatically puts all those pieces in the same lot in the drawer that they were just in, because that's where it's assigned to. And it's a lot quicker than it used to be, where we would do one file at a time, and in the middle of that file, we'd go put the remarks or put the pieces that needed to be consolidated, put them away, and it's a whole pain. Now, the biggest thing, and I know David West has mentioned this, the biggest downside to doing the consolidate still is not necessarily just walking through the store, but when you run to a problem where you open up the drawer, let's say we had 100 of those 1x4 bricks there. If we added 100 more to this drawer, they're not going to fit. So what we then have to do is pull them off the wall, sit them aside, and after we upload that file, we can then reassign the remark for that specific piece. And that reassignment is what does take a little bit of time as well. But we find ourselves, now that we are not cramming drawers with as many pieces as we initially were when we were doing used, we find ourselves having to reassign a lot less because we're not stuffing a drawer with 12 different lots, almost filling it up, and then running into the problem where later we have 4 more parts to add and they don't fit, because now our drawer is still half empty until we add more pieces to it later. I hope that kind of all made sense. I don't know if it did. But I know a lot of people have had questions on how we add parts, because it is a little bit different and we've kind of switched things around. So hopefully this video kind of makes sense. I think this is a great way to continue consolidating all your pieces in your store and slow or speed up the process, the potentially very slow process of consolidating. Just split it up into 2 separate tasks. Do your consolidate all at once at the end, and do 3 or 4 files, at the beginning. Now, the only difference between what Paul does, where we get it in cups, or there's no cups there, but what Paul does where we get it in cups in the bins, that's just how we store them in the garage. It's really easy to pick up a bin and move it from one table to another. When catalogers do it, who are, outside contractors, they'll put it in a bag, and then they bag each piece or each lot, and then they have a label, and that label corresponds with the file. But we do the same thing. When I open this up, I just verify, make sure it's the correct pieces that are in the file. Then we run it through Brickstock Merge. I then separate the consolidate, put it in a new sheet, and then I add all the new pieces. And then once that consolidate, I feel like it's full, and it's ready to be added, then I will add all of those consolidate things. So that has helped a tremendous amount in the past, I think I've been doing it like a month or so, and we've been able to get our lot count up quite a bit, and even our piece count. And I think part of that is just because we found a little bit of inefficiency with continuing to consolidate. It'll still be quicker to add every lot as a brand new lot, of course, but this keeps your inventory organized, and in my opinion, it keeps it nicer for the buyer, where they don't have to scroll through pages, potentially, of the same lot just to get to the next listing. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful / interesting. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That'd be phenomenal. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. We're pretty much at 5,000 subscribers, which is a huge accomplishment. So thank you to everyone who's made that happen. And if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them down below. I'll try to get back and answer questions, since this may not have been the clearest video on exactly how the whole process works, but I think it was a better explanation than me just trying to verbally explain it on a stream, which is usually what ends up happening. So, thank you guys for watching. We will see you all in the next video.